All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Flights OKC. Eric is always with my co-host Jason. This is Season 2, Episode 15. It's the Evan Williams Vintage Showdown 2015 versus 2016. I love Evan Williams. I love Evan Williams Vintage probably the most out of any of the Evan Williams products. I've had this bottle, as you can probably tell. This is the 2015, which has been drank and enjoyed. And I think that's honestly probably like my third bottle of it.
Yeah.
I just got at Bacchus the other day for $37.99 the 2016 Evan Williams Vintage. And I think I texted you that I drank it and I was like, it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's like, to me, noticeably better than the 2015. Really? But I haven't put them side by side yet, so I could be completely out of my mind, which my wife would say that I am. So,
yeah, this is one of those things that it rotates back and forth between distillery only release and then they'll send it out sometimes as well. So the fact that this year again we got it instead of distillery only is kind of a nice thing, because that is definitely a good drink
for sure. I also, for the 2015, because we'll kill that. I want to use these glasses. I wish I could remember the name of the company that makes these. The entire box is in like Italian or something, so I would just butcher it anyway. But these glasses are cool. They rotate around. I don't know. They're kind of a cool discussion piece, but we drank out of them last night and we thought they were pretty neat. Again, I wish the box is over there, but again, it's in a different language. So, I know that's very helpful for the viewers, but, yeah, so, I got these. It was not my parents. It was my in-laws. From my in-laws got me those. Thank you to the Kurtz family. Supporting my alcoholism for what, I've been married 3 years? 4 years? I'm not going to say that too loud because the wife's downstairs and she'll get mad at me. Anyway, it's not like she watches this podcast anyway. All right, so we'll just get right down to it. If you want to pour up, I guess let's pour the 2015 first. Well, let me see. Oh, they're exactly the same. I guess that makes sense. Do you want to pour that one into the regular Glencairns while I pour these?
I don't know what's going on lately, but Eric and myself both have had a cork failure in the last few days.
My maker's cork failure.
My, oh shit, that's a heavy one.
Ooh.
I'll give you a little of that. So my 1792 barrel pick from Jantz, the Bottle and Bond, which is, I think he got it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The cork broke, so I moved it to a decanter.
Nice.
Oh. Freaks me out because I feel like it's going to spill everywhere.
Man, I'm trying to find the name of who makes these.
Yes, they should probably send us some more and send some to the Bourbon Junkies. Have you watched them? He's always flipping the bottles, and I can just imagine what he would do with us.
Yeah,
and give everybody a heart attack.
Yeah, I can't.
No, I love that podcast. If you haven't checked out that one, check that one out too. They get a lot of good stuff over there.
Yeah, I mean them. Like we're big Bruzel fans. Yeah, obviously Bruzel, we watch him quite a bit. I can't find it. It starts with a V. It's like some Italian name. Super cool glasses.
Do you want me to go grab the box?
Do you mind grabbing the box?
I don't mind grabbing the box.
Thank you. I just think they're fun. You know, I think they're interesting. A like discussion piece, like somebody comes over and you're like, "Here's your bourbon," and it's in this crazy like spinning. It's the black one right there.
Oh my god, kicking everything!
You're destroying my house. See,
Vinasco?
Like what is Vinasco? But do you see like the rest of the box? It's in equilibrium. Fancy. Dalle Nostre Mani Ale Tue. Vinasco. Vinasco. Vinasco makes these.
I'm sure
I open them separately. I don't know if they come together. Like I think the glasses and the coasters might come separately. I don't know why that would be though. But anyway, yeah, super cool. Poland is where they're distributed from.
Oh.
But I don't think that's Polish that's on the I don't know. I don't know. All right, so this is the 25th. This is the 15. Remember, this bottle's been open for a while.
You can smell the difference for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so...
Oh, this is like...
Yeah. So this one, you get a little bit of the ethanol, but not overpowering.
The 2015, yep. There's like no ethanol.
There's no ethanol.
Yeah.
It almost kind of like a coconut, a light coconut smell.
On the 16?
Yeah. Like the sweetness of that coconut milk smell. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't taste like that, but I just get...
Yeah.
Like maybe...
Yeah, you're right.
But it smells so much different. I mean, this is just...
All right, well, let's start with the 15.
All right. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. So you get a little bit of heat, right initially, but it's gone quick. Gone.
And I think we said that when we reviewed it the last time. Like it's there, and you're like, "Oh, this might be hot," and you're like, "Oh, nope, it's not hot at all."
Yeah. See, and I don't know if that's power suggestion or what now, because even now with this one, I get a little bit of like a coconut taste.
Yep, for sure.
And it's a good. God, this stuff's amazing. I mean, if you're Evan Williams, I mean, their 1783 is small batch is that's one I drink. You know, that's my daily drinker all the time. But that vintage is so good. If you don't have a bottle of that, you definitely should grab a bottle. I mean, it is.
I also have the 1783 small batch. Yeah. Yeah. So again, I kind of skipped over it, but this is a review on Breaking Bourbon. This is the 2011 review, but it's from Heaven Hill, which we absolutely love Heaven Hill. They release it every year. Proof is 86.6. Age is 7 years, 10 months. Each single barrel is approximately 7 to 8 years old. 78% corn, 12% rye, and 10% malted barley. MSRP in 2020 was $27. I paid $38. I paid $37.99 for both of those bottles.
I don't think I've seen it any less than $36.99 anywhere.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's $37 to $39.
Yep.
When I see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm interested. I'm ready to try that other one as well. But this is good. So you get the oak on this is. It's a little more forward than some other bourbons, but it's not an overpowered like a Woodford Reserve.
To me, it's like oak and caramel. Sorry, oak and vanilla, and the caramel is kind of toned down on
I would
this
agree
one.
with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
See,
and it's just still like a little hint of coconut.
And it's so funny because on the nose, sweet caramel and vanilla contrast graham cracker and seasoned oak. A touch of toasted marshmallow rounds things out on the nose.
I don't get that. So I get a little ethanol in there when I get the sniffer in there.
I get like it's some sort of cracker, but it's not a graham cracker. What is that?
It sure isn't those military crackers we had in our MREs that pull all the moisture out of your body.
I'm a prune. That's right.
Those things are so bad. You're like, oh, you're so exhausted, you're so thirsty, and you go and you eat one of those crackers, and now you're just totally dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Good. It's good. I mean, I like the heat on it because it's quick, so you get a little bit of that without it just giving you heartburn.
So that was bottled on January 31st of 2015. So that's almost 9 years. Well, 9 years removed, right?
Yeah. Barrel
number 389. It was bottled on February 20th, 24. So this year. The 16 was barreled on May 2nd, 2016. Barrel number is 219, it looks like. 249. Yeah, I can't tell. 219, I think. And bottled on August 20th of 2024. So it's kind of interesting that they do it like they must bottle a bunch in February and then bottle the next year's in.
Well, it seems like a lot of the allocation stuff is bottled twice a year or once a year.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're really going to like this. I'm excited for you to try this. I took a sip. I saw it and I was like, I wasn't going to buy anything. I was with my dad. Like I bought some rum, some brandy to go in eggnog. And I saw it on the shelf and I was like, I looked at it and I was like, expecting it to be a 2015. I'm like, I got one at home. Like, whatever. And then I saw the 2016. I was like, oh, I have to try it.
creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
No ethanol.
But almost like the custard part of creme brulee,
Right.
not like
Not
the sugary part.
sugar.
Yeah.
The custard. Yeah, that'd be probably be better. That's better. The vanilla custard.
Yeah, vanilla custard.
No ethanol. Wow.
Dude, it's so good.
That is so smooth.
It's so good.
The spice in it is just very minimal, and it just you don't get it till the end, and then it just kind of
super easy to drink.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the caramel,
a little more oak forward in this one.
A little bit of cinnamon. So I think this one, when we reviewed it, we talked about like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the cereal. Mm-hmm. It's not as cinnamony.
No,
cinnamony, is that a word? as the previous one, but I think compared to these two, and I have also had. I think I've had either the 2011 or the 2012. I think as far as the vintages that I've had, this like knocks them easily out of the park.
Yeah.
Like this is such a good drink for $38. I mean, again, it's not super complex. I mean, it's what, 86.6 proof?
Man, that's so much smoother than the other one.
It's so much smoother. You know, and yeah, that's been sitting for a little while and it's oxidized, but like the first thing I did when I took a sip of that, and I was like, wow, that blows the 15 out of the park.
I agree.
Out of the park.
Yeah.
Maybe a little pepper on there now that it's been sitting in my mouth a little while longer.
The finish on it with some pepper.
Yeah,
some
little pepper. The rye spice really isn't there at all.
It's just very, I don't know, it's minimal.
I get it on the initial. As soon as I swallow, I get it, but it's gone. Just kind of like the other one. It's gone like that.
Yeah. And it's just, and now that I'm trying to wait for a minute to take another drink, it's like just a little bit of an oak is all that you get when it's all finished.
Yeah.
It's just a real light oak.
Yeah, it is a little dry.
Yeah.
At least my palate a little dry, but I think that's that cinnamon, which if you've watched the podcast, you know that I have this weird thing with cinnamon where it just dries my mouth out, you know, and I don't really like that. But it's not...
You're not supposed to take it a tablespoon at a time.
The cinnamon challenge?
Get the ladle out.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good one. I actually had my wife try that.
I don't think it's too dry, but it is drier. But it's not too dry.
No, definitely not. And I actually had my wife try that the other day, and she is not a bourbon person, as we know, and she didn't stick her nose up at it. So that's how I know it's really smooth.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really, really good one. I think, again, it blows the 15 out of the water. And I like the 15. I mean, I don't have much left of it, but I like the 15. But I mean, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna probably buy a couple more when I find them and just squirrel them away because it's such a good drink. And I think, you know, we talk about the Evan Williams 1783 small batch. We've talked about, we haven't had it on the podcast, but the white label Evan Williams, is that their bottled and bond?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. The bottled and bond is white and green.
Yes, the white label.
I drink that regularly when I want something a little higher proof.
And I haven't had that at all. We haven't had it on the show. No, I haven't had that one. Well, then maybe I have. I don't know. But my point is that I'm trying to make is I think you owe it to yourself to give Evan Williams a shot. I think. You know, it's a lot like Jim Beam, right? Jim Beam is Jim Beam, but like the products they put out at the Suntory, like all the Basil Hayden stuff is really, really good. Yeah, it's lower proof stuff, just like this is, but it's a good drink. Yeah. It's something, again, like we always talk about, you have people over that maybe aren't super into bourbon. Like my dad's a perfect example, right? Like my dad was over here, not a big bourbon guy.
Yeah.
And we had him drinking, I think he drank some of the Maker's Mark last night. And I don't know what else, but for those people that are coming to your house, like, you know, if you have a collection like this, they're going to see it and they'll be like, oh, wow, you have a bourbon collection. And, you know, it's, yeah, I'm not really into it. Yeah, it's a selection, not a collection. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I'm not really into bourbon. It's like, oh, we'll try this. I think this is a great one to put in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's less than $40. It's interesting because, I mean, it's like, so this one is 8 years, basically, right? It's not a young bourbon. It's had time to sit. So, yeah, I think I really like what Evan Williams is doing. Again, it's a Heaven Hill product, which we love Heaven Hill. We need to go to Heaven Hill.
Well, yeah, we do. And I was talking to Daniel, my best friend since third grade. He actually got all 3 of the Heaven Hill grain to glass.
Oh yeah,
I think he wants to let us try them on the podcast.
Yeah, he should come on the podcast.
We'll get him on the podcast and we'll try those out because I wanted to try them.
I have too,
but it was like I never found all 3. It was like one here,
and they're
one
not
there.
cheap either.
They're not.
They're not
about
cheap.
$100.
And the concern that I have is I don't think I still the Heaven and Hill bottled and bond. It was okay for me, and I've seen some people that say the grain to glass is grain to glass is great, and I've seen people that are like. I'm a big Heaven Hill fan. I'm not a fan of this. So I'd like to have it on the podcast for sure. I just don't know how I'm like really going to.
Yeah. Definitely Elijah Craig. Express Liquor on Council and Northwest Expressway. Yeah. Their barrel pick. Was that the Saturday evening or jam pick?
Oh, the jam pick.
The jam pick. That's with.
It was. It was 3 first names. Somebody, and then
Jessica,
Mike.
the owner, and then Mike Branson from Bourbon with the Bransons.
Check them out. Good channel on TikTok there.
Again, guys like the Sherlock Holmes of bourbon and whiskey. You could put something in front of him and not tell him. He'll tell you exactly where, when, and how they made it.
Yeah, that's right.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
but he's got a great palate too, and his wife's class act, fantastic lady too.
And she's really into bourbon too. I mean,
she got our wives kind of hooked on some of the stuff.
Yeah, because we were over there one night just hanging out and drinking, and the guys were kind of doing our own thing. And she took out like a smelling kit and was talking to them. So I mean, she knows more than you and I do.
Yeah,
I mean, his
kids probably know more than I do.
That's right. Yeah,
his
daughter definitely does.
And
right?
William, my son, is starting to track all my stuff now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is this much, and you got this from here, and he takes everything in, and it's like. Yeah, it's
classic
kid.
Yeah,
kid. So the one thing I wanted to say
from last week. Yeah.
So I know in the past I've talked about this is kind of this is what really burns my barrel episode. A little segment
really
here.
Grinds my gears.
Yeah. So
what's the one with Chris Farley where he does that? Who don't leak like dried up deodorant cakes under their arms, and like when he's doing the quotations. Yeah.
So we talked in the past about talking to people when you're going in and you're asking about how they deal with their allocations. You ask for certain whiskeys. Don't get upset when they tell you they don't have it or they won't give it to you because of how they do things. There's certain places. If you want allocations, there's certain places that are better because they just put them on the shelf and it's first come first serve.
And make a relationship because
build a relationship with you. That's the best way to do it and be loyal to one or two or a few.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, been all the bourbon hunting I do for the show, and stuff. So when you're traveling, I try to get out and try to find us bottles and stuff and talk to a lot of liquor store owners. And some people are just hostile. And it's interesting too. So I went into a liquor store that off Highway 74.
What was the name of it?
I don't remember the name of it. I don't know if I want to go down that road.
Okay.
But it's off. I'll give you where it's at, but I'm not going to say.
Okay.
It's off Highway 74, and it's right by. It's not the Busy Bee that just opened up. Young couple, just a great couple. They're just getting started out. If you want to support a local, and check them out too. But this one's over by the Sonic. So I walked in.
Oh, I know where you're talking about.
Yeah. So I walked in, and I see a Penelope Estate. Edition collection.
Yeah.
The estate collection bottle up there, but it's priced about $20 to $30 higher than what I paid for mine. And I thought, maybe they got a private barrel pick.
Yeah.
So my question was, is there something special about this bottle?
Yeah.
And they said it's an allocation. I said, yes, I understand it's a estate collection,
Yeah.
But is there something special about it? And she's like, well, it's allocated. They're hard to find. I said, well, okay, but why is it so much more than what everybody else has it?
Yeah.
And the son quipped at me real quick. We charge a standard markup. We're not here to rip people off. But you're a lot higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to insult anybody, ask a question. And the lady behind the counter who has a reputation of being hostile with people that ask questions that she takes an offense to everything when you're talking I'm asking questions because you never know, something might have been a barrel pick,
and then you would pay for it
and I would pay that, absolutely. So I said, I don't understand, why, it's higher than others. I get it. I understand when places have to charge a little more. Like we see variations because of where the liquor store is, their rent's higher and stuff. But it's never $20 to $30 jump unless they're just trying to take you. Like some of the places on down by the fairgrounds on May, where they're charging $79 for Buffalo Trace. Yeah. Which I told her, I said, like, we paid $26.99 for our Buffalo Trace at our friends.
She called you a liar, right?
Yeah, she called me flat out. Said you're lying, and I said no, I'm not lying. She said I'm going to call him. Let's call Chino's Liquor on Western, $26.99.
Hey,
is it on there?
If you're watching, $26.48. You can take a screenshot and zoom in on your phone. We're not lying to you. $26.48 at Chino's.
Chino's Liquor. Ask for Miss T. She's a great lady there.
Yeah.
But also, I said our friends over at Camelot put Eagle Rare on the shelf for $47.99.
Yep.
She said, I was just there. You're lying. They don't have Eagle Rare. I said, yeah, I know. It sells out because they charge people up the ass. Some places
Weird. Weird. If I don't bend people over the coals, my products sell quicker. Isn't that strange?
Yeah. And the nice thing is, I mean, I like that the way they do that there at Camelot, because I go in there to look to see maybe I can catch an allocation that's out on the shelf, but if not, then I look to see what else they got and I grab something else usually, so it brings people in.
Yeah.
But she said, I just came from Camelot. I said, fine, call them. And I said, you know what? Merry Christmas. I'm out. I'm gone. Yeah. It's getting pretty nasty about it. And it wasn't trying to be insulting, but I asked a question and then it became an argument.
Yeah.
Because she made it an argument and the son kind of made it an argument. Yeah. And so I walked out and then she came flying out and she said, you're the guy from the podcast. And I said, yeah. We're trying to, I was trying to explain that we try to help people find the best deals around town, like our friends over at Coffee Creek that are offering you guys 10% discount if you mention the podcast.
Yeah.
But she said, oh, well, it must have been a private barrel that they must have. I said, well, if it was a private barrel, it'd have been more expensive.
Yeah.
And I just, goodbye. Yeah. And I just got in my truck and left. And it's like, if you're a liquor store and you're watching this, expect people to ask questions. Expect people to ask if you have certain. I mean, I pissed a lot of people off just asking if they had Elmer T. Lee, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
But if I don't ask, I'm not going to find out. I was fortunate enough we have some friends.
And trust me, we're in the industry. I mean, we don't own a liquor store or, bartender, but I mean, I would say we're in the industry, especially in Oklahoma City. We're getting recognized, so obviously we're in this industry. We understand liquor store owners that you get upset when people come in there. When you get 50 people a day that asking you for Blanton's. I get it. But at the same time, you in a liquor store, again, what you just said hits the nail on the head. If I don't ask, I won't know.
And I might miss out on it.
Exactly. And now, we're not going to be asking for Blanton's, but at the same time, whether it's Elmer T. Lee or it's Penelope Rio or whatever it is, we ask because if you don't ask, you will never find it.
And you'll miss it.
Yeah. And you'll miss it. So I think that's a good PSA to people. It's like, if people are getting angry and upset about it, then yeah, obviously that's
liquor store.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm saying if customers are getting angry and upset about it, then yeah, that's not needed. But if people are going in and asking questions, just answer the question.
Yeah.
Just say no, sorry. Yeah. End of conversation. Yeah. Right. You don't need to get nasty with people. Yeah. You don't need to call your customers liars.
Especially when they're willing to call the liquor store. And I mean, maybe I should just start taking pictures of this stuff. By the way, Chino's is out right now, Buffalo Trace. I went by and they said, yeah, the word's getting out on the podcast and it's going.
We need to get a little marketing fee, I think.
Right. Nah, Tammy's always super nice. She takes care of us. Yeah,
they're the best. Great. But yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. Behind the Sonic, next to that new Swing Zone place.
Yeah,
yeah, where the old gas station used to be.
It's a crappy. The parking lot's got holes in it, so it's not like it's an upper scale place where they're paying premium rent.
No,
there's
nothing over there anyway. Yeah,
right. So. I mean, I think that the Busy Bee liquor store that's one block down, I hope they take their business. I mean, because there's no reason to be like that.
So our friend Windy City Smokers, he says, I always look first and then I ask, like, hey, I don't see any, whatever on your shelf. Do you have any of this? And that's perfectly acceptable. Don't just walk in and be like, hey, do you have Buffalo Trace? No, okay, see you, bye.
So
go look around the store. And again, that's part of making relationships, right?
Right. And that's what I do. I look around and then I'll ask them, hey, how do you guys deal with your allocations?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't try to make a comment, but I just, how do you do it? I understand everybody does it differently and stuff. And that's fine. You know, the nice thing about, like I said, Camelot, North Oaks, Liquor, they put their allocations out. They're not saving them for a special thing where you got to camp out all night. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then other places, they just invite their best customers that they have relationships. That's why like you were saying, build a relationship with your local liquor store.
Yeah.
If you really like bourbon, man, I highly suggest going by the wine barrel on 164th, because there's so many of the private barrel picks, and also George's and Modern Liquor. They do a lot of bourbon barrel picks. So you get a lot of unique stuff that's really good.
Yep. I mean, Clint does a ton over at the whiskey
cabinet as well.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot.
Sorry,
yeah,
Clint.
he does a lot.
I just talked to him the other day. He has got he doesn't have a date yet, but a bottle and bond 1792 barrel pick coming. He's got to go pick it.
Love those.
Yeah, those are fantastic. If you've not had those, I'd recommend them.
Very good.
Sorry. So
no, you're fine. No,
my barrel has been burnt.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's like the thing that puts the cherry on the cake for me, though, is the fact that she figured out who you were and was like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done what I just did, because obviously we're going to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's probably better they do it to us so we can warn you.
Yes.
But,
so you don't have to go in there and experience it.
Yeah.
Because we have a voice.
Well, and I had even heard about it before I went in, but I'm one of those people, I like to form my own opinion.
Yep.
And so I wanted to go in and talk to him. And I had been in there one time before, but she wasn't in there. But the son was in there.
I know who you're talking about.
And he was nice. Yeah. You know, and then this time, I don't know, maybe having a bad day. It's Christmas. I know it's hectic, but that was just uncalled for.
Uncalled for, indeed.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want Buffalo Trace, Chino's. Western, just south of Britain.
That's right. If you want Evan Williams 2016 vintage, I think there was like 6 on the shelf. I picked one up, so I don't know if it's still there at Bacchus, but it was only, as I said, $36.99, $37.99, whatever it was. So that's really good. Really good drink.
Coffee Creek wine and liquor.
Yep,
there.
Go get your 10% off. 10% mention the podcast.
And they have some barrel picks
buy some
coming
of these
well.
Vanasco glasses because they're cool.
Yeah, I think they actually, as a matter of fact,
Coffee
Creek has an RD1 Amberana barrel pick coming.
Oh, well, we need to go over there immediately when that gets here.
I love RD1 Amberana.
Very
if you've not had it, I think it's better than the Penelope Rio.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a lot less expensive as well.
Yes.
Is that the dog?
No, that's my wife telling us that we need to go watch the Thunder beat the Pacers tonight.
Yes.
And we need to go eat dinner.
Thunder up.
That's right. Anything, last comments, concerns, criticisms?
Again, I agree with
2016
you.
Vintage
This
awesome.
2016 is better. Both are good.
Both are very good. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on our bourbon journey through OKC. Remember, there's a world of bourbon out there waiting to be explored one sip at a time. Until next time, keep your glasses full and your spirits high.
Get them, Lou.
Cheers.
Get them, Dort.